Hey everyone, we have Sam here, and we will kick things off with questions. So if you have a question, please use the hand raise function, and then we'll go from there. All right, Jeff, you can go ahead, go first. No sound?
Nope.
I think I know what you gotta do. 1 second, Jeff.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you go ahead, Jeff?
Oh, I think he's still
muted.
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry.
No worries.
Wow. All right. Yeah, it's frustrating working from a phone. Sam, so this year the defense, you've had a number of games with clean sheets. Personnel's pretty consistent from last year, but you've also had an opportunity now to work with Shay or Emily up front. And in those different lineups, yet you've been able to fairly consistently have those sorts of success. Can you talk to the defensive approach that you all take as players and why the personnel shifts don't seem to matter?
Yeah, I think obviously it's nice when you can return people from the previous year, and having played together a little bit, that's just nice to know each other's tendencies and things like that. But at the same time, massive kudos to Shay and Sonnet and Ryan and really everyone who's stepped in and played a role in the back line this year. And I think that also speaks to Laura and our coaching staff. I think that we have some set principles and how we want to play and how we want to defend. And so that when people do step into those roles, people know what's expected of them, what their job is, and then everyone's really done a great job, like I said, when called upon in those roles to, do what they need to do and do a great job. So I think on the one hand, we have a great coaching staff who helps us have a structure that we can build upon, and then everyone individually has done a really great job of doing whatever needs to be done and really understanding the roles.
Speaking of roles, with some upcoming absences and some of these changes, there's been times where you've been the more veteran presence in the middle now that you're a couple of years into the system. Can you speak to where you see your role is, especially coming up this summer with the absences?
Yeah, I think, when in the games where I have been maybe the oldest or have had the most experience in the back line, I just know that maybe need to communicate a little bit more than I would, or just really focus on helping everyone around me and communicating and directing as needed, kind of in the same way that I know when I stepped in, Lou would help me out. So I really just try to be that voice and resource when I can. And like I said, I think everyone, all our young players included, have done a really great job when they have been called upon. So it hasn't been a hardship or anything. But I do think it's something I just note to myself to, again, really focus on communicating and trying to keep our standards and help out where I can.
Thanks, Jeff. And then Steven, go ahead.
Sam, I wanted to ask, Kansas City hasn't been getting a lot of results so far this year, but they do have a lot of dangerous players in attack. So on the defensive side, kind of what things are you looking for to kind of make sure that they continue to not have good results?
I will say, I think, as I've learned in this league, it doesn't really matter where, a team's history or their past couple games or the standings, because as we've seen, anyone can really beat anyone on any day, which is what makes this league great. But at the same time, for me and my job specifically, like you said, they do have some really dangerous attackers. And so I think for us, it's about knowing where they are and being conscious of that. Especially, I think it's easy to lose track of them maybe when we have the ball. So I think just being really intentional of keeping an eye on where those players are, where's Dabinia, and just knowing where they are and ready to try and react and neutralize any threats they pose if we lose the ball. So I think just making sure that even when we have the ball, keeping an eye on them is something that we will try to focus on, because again, they do have some dangerous players, and even, they just one counterattack is all a team needs. So being aware of that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steven. And then Bella?
Hi, Sam. Thank you for the time today.
Bella.
Obviously, coming up this weekend is the Pride match. And at this point in the league, pretty much every team has a pride match, but they didn't all necessarily in the past, while the Reign have always had theirs. And also, the Reign seem to stand more publicly by the particular messages like protecting trans kids. So I'm wondering if and how important it is for you to play for such an inclusive club that publicly stands like by its values.
Yeah, I think I'm just so honored and blessed really to play for a club that has values off the field that we really stick to and emphasize. And I think we really are, they've created a culture here where we really are accepting and supportive of everyone and all people. And we really believe that everyone has the right to be their, authentic self. So I just think the Pride Match is an opportunity to celebrate Pride and highlight the LGBTQ community, and like you said, continue to advocate for things such as protect trans kids. That's important to us. So like you said, I think the Reign has done a really good job across, since the beginning of the league, as being known to have values that we stick to and are important to us off the field, as important to us as the players we are on the field. It's important that we have these things that we fight for and advocate for off the field as well. And the Pride Match is just another opportunity for us to, highlight and celebrate a community that we support.
Thank you. And one sort of unrelated follow-up, following up on Steve's question about the defense. I assume you have had a chance at this point to look at the film from the Portland match. Just wondering if you learned anything in particular from that you're going to take into this next game.
Well, I think we learned a lot from the Portland game. I mean, we try to learn and grow from every game. So even win, lose, tie, there are always things that we can take with us into the next match. And I think there were just little things defensively that we definitely want to work on cleaning up and tightening up moving forward. And I think it's a good learning opportunity, but at the same time, I don't think no one's gonna dwell on it. Kind of the way this league goes is you have a result, you gotta do your best to learn from that and then move on to the next. So there are definitely things that we wanna get better on that we'll try and, do better tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bella. And it looks like that's it for questions. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Sam.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.